Hello there and welcome to episode 5 of the Monday Morning Sports Rant. I'm going to rant through this very quickly because there's a lot that happened this weekend. So, kicking off with rugby, Box versus Argentina. We won the Rugby Championship. I would have loved to have won it by log points, but you know what? I'll take points difference. New Zealand won it like that a few years ago, so fair enough. And look, for all those people who thought it would be another blowout, if you've watched any amount of rugby, there's no way a team like Argentina are going to capitulate 2 weeks in a row. And but we did what we needed to do. I'm happy. Let's move on and have a great end of year tour. Obviously, Sasha, I mean, to reproduce a record-breaking performance, you're asking so much of the guy. I'm sure he's learned a lot over the last few weeks, and it can only be positive for his development going forward. So I'm happy, and I think Rusty's also learned a lot about the players and what they're capable of and who is in the mix to go to the next World Cup. Team of the Rugby Champs. Well, let's have a look. Starting at loose head, Angus Bell on 139 points, Malcolm Marx on 220, Fletcher Newell 116, All Blacks, the Locks, Vai 115 and Holland 113. Peter Steff 191 points and Savia 224. He was incredibly consistent. Obviously Wilson and McWright are both in the 8th man position, tied on 156, so they couldn't separate them. Kobus Reinach, I must say in the last few weeks he really came through to steal that spot at 119 points. And then based on basically one performance, Sasha Feinberg and Gomezulu takes the fly half spot on 223 points. Suaili and Choco Barres are the two centers. The wings, Jordan and Jorgensen, and fullback Santi Carrera. So that's the team. I don't know. I do think that they need to adjust the point system slightly next time around. I don't quite think it's based on reality. You're getting it too many points for scoring, even though you might have had nothing to do with it, you just fell over the line. Anyway, debate for another day. The URC round 2. Where's the URC? Oh, there it is. Okay, Stormers on Friday night. Good win over the Ospreys, 26-10. Edinburgh, Ulster and Connacht Scarlets postponed due to travel issues, supposedly. So they'll probably have to play that during the Six Nations. 17 all between the Sharks and the Dragons. We did well to hold them out in the closing stages. So, I suppose you'll take a draw away from home. We had never lost to them, so draws, you know what they say, kissing your sister. Benetton, the Italian team's doing well, beating Glasgow 16-14. The Bulls with a good win, 39-31 over Leinster. I mean, without their box, but they're still conceding lots of tries against a internationalist Leinster. I mean, the whole Irish team effectively plays for them, so it helps when they're not playing. Munster 23-20 over Cardiff. And then on Sunday, the Lions conceding a late try against Zebra and losing 22-20 in Italy. So the Bulls are leading a full house of 10 points after 2 matches. Stormers, Munster, Zebra, 2nd, 3rd and 4th on 9. Now let's get local. The Gold Cup, which is, they're calling it the FA Cup of club rugby, including non-university teams. So you have the North section. The Nakabilla thrashing Louis Trichardt 88-19. The Northern Wolves from the Leopards beating the Raiders from the Lions 53-30. Northern Muranos, Limpopo beating Centurion 31-19. And Pretoria Harlequins 34-22 win over Falkers Vereniging. So in the quarterfinals, Nakabilla will play Northern Wolves and Northern Rhinos will play Pretoria Harlequins. So it looks like, 3 teams from the Bulls, 2 Limpopo. I mean, they're effectively part of the Bulls, so club rugby pretty strong there. Then in the South section, it was an all-Durban derby, Rovers beating Crusaders 19-3. Then another Boland derby, Robertson over Villagers Worcester 52-33. Then a Western Province derby, Villagers beating Hamilton's 27-14. It's their 4th win over their rivals, the 2 oldest clubs in the country. 4th win this season. And then an Eastern Province derby. Gardens over Kruisfontein, 29-25. So Rovers versus Robertson, they will travel to the Boerland. And then Villagers versus Gardens in the other quarter final. Good to see those players be given some opportunities at a higher level of your regular club rugby. So we're on to football, Premier League. Well, there were some interesting results this week. Highlighted by Chelsea's win over Liverpool in stoppage time, 2-1, should I say. First time in 32 months that Liverpool have lost back-to-back league games. So things not looking all hunky-dory there at Anfield. Manchester United beating Sunderland 2-0. Arsenal going top with a 2-0 win over West Ham. And Spurs, decent form, 2-1 win over Leeds. And then on Sunday, Manchester City, 1-0 win over Brentford. Haaland with his 9th goal of the league season, and he's 3 clear of the rest. Newcastle beating Forest 2-0. Everton looking good. Some Moyes magic, 2-1 over Crystal Palace. They'd be disappointed by that because they'd have a good season so far. So, as mentioned, Arsenal are top on 16 points, 1 ahead of Liverpool. Spurs in 3rd on 14, 1 further behind alongside Bournemouth on points difference. Man City moving into 5th on 13, then Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Everton, Sunderland, and Man United moving into the top half of the table. Well done. The other big leagues, we've got Real Madrid leading in Spain, Napoli top in Serie A, and Bayern Munich leading the Bundesliga. So in South Africa, a break from the league, and we had the Carling Knockout Cup. Wins for Durban City, Orlando Pirates, TS Galaxy, Golden Arrows, Gallants knocking out Mamelodi Sundowns. Richards Bay, our local team, a 4-1 win over Chipper United. They will play Durban City in the quarterfinals. So a nice KZN derby there. Stellenbosch, despite a red card, knocking Kaizer Chiefs out 5-4 on penalties. And then Magezi, the defending champions, downing Amazulu 3-2. Moving on to Formula 1, the Singapore Grand Prix. George Russell with victory there. Max Verstappen 2nd and Lando Norris 3rd. Piastri's 4th place, giving McLaren a combined 27 points for the weekend, and they've defended their constructors' title. The first time for McLaren with back-to-back titles since 1990-1991. So a great performance from the McLarens, getting back to the halcyon days of the 90s. Staying with motorsport, MotoGP, the Indonesia Grand Prix. Correct me if I'm wrong on the pronunciation, but Firmin Eldegoa won the race. It was an all-Spanish podium. Acosta, followed by Alex Marquez in 3rd. Brother Mark crashing out on the first lap. So Alex did gain some ground on him, but he's still far behind. Brad Binder in 4th place. Finally, some decent points for our South African. By the way, Eldegoa, the 2nd youngest ever to win a MotoGP race at 20 years and 183 days. Of course, surprise, surprise, Marc Marquez holds the record, 20 years and 16 days. And finally, some golf. 2 South Africans could win on both sides of the Atlantic, and unfortunately, they didn't manage it. Robert McIntyre flying over from the Ryder Cup, winning by 4 at the Dunhill Links over Tyrrell Hatton, another Ryder Cupper, and then Richard Sturdy in 3rd on 13 under. And then on the PGA Tour, the Sanderson Farms, Garrick Higgo was leading going into, and they've just skipped to the Ryder Cup. How dare the PGA Tour. Fisk, I think, won, and Garrick ended in 2nd place. So that's the week.